Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel IT Pro Teams, and today I will help you to set up a Microsoft Entra Connect to sync your on-prem Active Directory to Azure Active Directory, or now we call it Entra ID. So we can search here Microsoft Entra Connect download. Then you just go to this Microsoft site. You'll find a download options here. You click on it. The file will start downloading in your machine. The file name is still Azure AD Connect, but when you start the setup, it will give you an options for Entra installations. Okay, what is it? Okay, so I hope so. I've run two programs simultaneously. So now once you start the setup, you can see this wizard in front of you. Just accept the license agreement. Then you click continue. Then there are two options. You can have an express settings and you have a customized settings. Express settings means it will sync your entire Active Directory, right? And custom settings, you are going to do the customizations, what you want to sync. So most of the cases we are going to select the custom, right? So in this custom settings, it will ask you, right? Do you have specific custom locations where you want to install it? Do you want to use an existing SQL servers, or do you have an existing service account, or you have to specify customs in groups? All these options, just click installed. Don't need to select any of them. It will automatically going to install Visual C++ and SQL Express editions in this machine, because when AD Connect or Entra Connect get the object from Active Directory, it will be locally saved inside the database, SQL Express database, and from where it will be synced to your Entra ID or Azure Active Directory. It will take few minutes. It's almost starting the services. Setting up an intra-connect is a primary requirement if you want to sync your on-prem objects to your cloud services. Either it's your Azure cloud or it's your M365. Now you can see it here. So basically we have two options in Entra Connect. One is called password hash synchronizations and second is called pass-through authentications. So password hash synchronizations means your user account along with your password in hash format sync from your on-prem Active Directory to your Entra ID. In pass-through, only your user account sync. Your password will remain in your on-prem Active Directory, and there will be an authentication request for all your Office 365 or Azure services will be managed by your on-prem domain controller. For right now, we are going to select this password hash synchronizations. Now it will ask you which tenant you want to connect. Right. So we have a tenant, and let's identify the user. So for setting up, we need an enterprise admin account. So this is my so this is my tenant, and this is the password. So if you log into your Office 365 Admin Center, I do have certain cloud identity, but this time what I'm planning to do, I want to sync the users from my on-prem Active Directory. So currently you checked it here, right? You couldn't. Let me add one extra column here, right? First we check the AD sync status, right? So currently you see we have cloud only users, right? And we do have options, but let's go back to the users. All these users, if you can see them, they are cloud only. Let me add a sync status here, and in that sync status you get to know about, right, what is the, if they're cloud only, you can see this cloud, right? Currently we don't have any account which is not a part of the cloud, right? So let's try to configure the Entra connect. So, and I want to show before we are going to configure. So the user account admin that we use for login is a global admin. So click on that user. If you go down, you can see in the roles it's a global administrator. So let's go to Entra. Next, it's asked for my authentications, password. So it is verifying my Office 365 tenant as a global administrator. So you can use hybrid identity administrator account or a global administrator account. Currently you can see I have a type of Active Directory. Directory services is Active Directory, and what is now my forest name? It is IT Pro Teams. You can add this forest. Now it will ask you, do you have an existing account or you want to create one account? So I don't have existing account, right? So I want to create a service account here. So that is my user ID, and this is the password. Now it's validated. We can click next. Right now, what is the attribute that you want to sync? So I want to sync user principal name. That is a default one. Then we have to select this option, continue without matching all the UPN suffix to verified domain, because my on-prem domain is IT Pro Team, but my Office 365 tenant, I have not added that domain as of now. That's the reason we have to select this. Click next. Now it will ask you, do you want to sync everything or you want to sync specific? So we don't need to sync everything to Entra ID because there are lots of built-in things, right? So we unselect everything, and then whichever the service or OU we have to sync, we select that. Click next. Keep this users are separated only once across all the directories, right? So they can be part of one and more than one, right, directory also. So click next. Synchronize all the users. If you want to synchronize specific one, you can specify here. Click next. Now there are multiple options. You can see it here. You can see an options group write back, password write back. But for enabling this feature, you need to have a Entra ID premium license, right? That's a separate topic. We can discuss it in future videos. But right now, this password has synchronization option is selected. We are going next. Now we want to start it. So now you can see this option staging mode. This is required when you are going to install more than one Entra Connect server and you want one server as an active, another server as a passive. So once you install two AD Connect server, then you have to select one server as a stage server. So when you are doing some patching activity or something happened to your primary AD Connect server, you go to the second server and you can remove the staging mode. So the second server starts syncing the object from your on-prem Active Directory to Entra ID. So that is the reason we have staging options. So currently, it's basically creating a synchronization accounts means one account will be created in Azure Active Directory, one account will be created in my on-prem Active Directory. So that account will be used by Entra ID Connect to sync the object from my on-prem Active Directory to Entra ID. We just need to wait for a few minutes. Now you can see it here. This is my Azure Active Directory. It's configuring, right? It's updating my synchronization rule. By default, you can check every 1 hour, every 30 minutes, AD sync try to sync the objects from on-prem to Entra ID. But if you want to change that and want to set up your custom synchronizations, then you can go to the settings and you can change the timeline. Now this is going to install the health status. So if anything uh, happen to your Entra Connect server, so this health agent will provide the status to the portal. One, when the last time sync happened, what is the status of Entra Connect servers, all this informations will send with the help of this agent from Entra Connect server to Entra ID, or you can see that M365 admin portal. And when you try to install this Entra Connect to Server 2019 or Server 2022, you will face a problem with TLS. So basically, TLS 1.2 is minimum requirement with .NET Framework 4.6.3 is required for installations Entra Connect to Server 2019 or Server 2022. So make sure after installations when you run this wizard, if you can face a problem, then there are certain PowerShell scripts available right here on the Google, right? Um, how to enable TLS 1.2 right on the server. So you can go Microsoft site, right? And then you can find out how to enable TLS 1.2 on your server, right? What is the minimum requirement for it and which version of .NET Framework. So it's 4.6 will have supported 1.1, 1.2, right? Now even 2022 don't have 1.1, it has 1.2 only. So there are some registry settings that you can run, right, to enable this and validate it. Now go back and you can see it. Our configuration is done. Now we can go to if you want to validate, right, if the users synced or not, you can simply check it from here. If you can see any sync identity, we have created certain users in on-prem and it will start reflecting here. Can you see that? So this is one sync account created. This one is again a sync account. This account is coming from your on-prem Active Directory, right? It's not a part of your Azure AD. With this icon, we can able to identify this is a sync identity, this is a cloud identity. Now let's go and see some of the settings. After installations, you can see there are some synchronization services and apart from AD Connect is installed, which can tell you your sync status, right? When the last sync happened, it is a full sync or a incremental sync, right? So you can see it, which domain to which tenant it's syncing, what time it's syncing, right? You can have a PowerShell command which you can execute to sync it, and you can see how many object has been synced, right? So you can get this information from here, right? You have you can manually also run a sync and you can stop it, right? Even you want to see what object has been synced, you can click here, right? And then you can see the object that has been synced. So like OU IT, OU sales, then user IT user 1, IT user 2. There is a group called IT teams. There is a group, the user called sales user 1. There is a group called sales. All these object has been synced. I hope and once you go to the portal, click on your admin center, click on your home. click here and click on this directory synchronization options, and it will tell you how many objects has been synced, what is the status. Right? You can want to check your sync data, you can click next. Right? So why you want to check it? Right? So then you can have these options. I want to sync custom and directory attributes, or a required ability to access both on-prems and other options. You can check that, right? And next way, if you go here, under your domains, you can see what is the domain where you are syncing your object, and then you can see this option directory sync errors. So if there is any errors syncing your users from on-prem to Entra Connect, then you can able to see the errors like confliction of UPN or duplicate object or anything that you can able to see it. You can see under this options, right? So you go here under the settings, right? You have the option directory sync errors, and you can able to see any error related to it. I hope guys you this video is informative for you, and thank you for watching it. Please like this video and subscribe for my channel for future videos. Bye bye.